Hello everyone, it's your favourite Scotsman again. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It is that time of year again when we have to prepare for filing taxes by April 30th. Yeah, I know, not exactly your favourite time of year. Still freezing outside, and then to cap it all off, dealing with the CRA is never top of the list for an ideal experience. If you have investment accounts though, then there is a good chance that you should be expecting a tax receipt or a number of tax receipts over the coming weeks. What I will do today is outline the timeline for this and what you should expect over these next few weeks. Now, I know this is probably not going to be the most riveting few minutes of your life, but it will give you a very good idea of expectations, and you get to listen to me talking, which isn't all that bad. It could be worse. If you're not a Bellwether client, then some of this may not be applicable to you, but generally speaking, the dates and types of slips I'm about to discuss will still apply. So let's not waste any time and we'll get stuck right in there. So first off, and there's a good chance you'll have already received this one. If you have a RIF or a LIF and have received income from either or both of these accounts last year, you should expect a T4 to be in the mail or available in your Fidelity portal if you have elected to receive electronically, no later than February 28th. It will outline what you took out, your account number, and any applicable withholding taxes sent off to the CRA. And it will look a little bit like this. Next up, we have RRSP contribution receipts. Now, don't forget this one, as I think we can all agree an interest-free loan to the CRA is probably the last place you would prefer to make such a generous gesture to. If you made a RRSP contribution between March the 1st, 2022 and December the 31st, 2022, you should have received your receipt by now. For any contributions made between January the 2nd of this year and January the 31st of this year, you should have received your receipts. And for any contributions made between February the 1st and March the 1st, the receipts will be populated on a weekly basis, and you should receive it within 2 to 3 weeks of making the contribution. These receipts will either be sent in the mail or available on your Fidelity portal if you have elected to receive electronically. Next on the list is foreign holdings, capital gains and losses, and management fees. Don't forget the management fees, as they're tax deductible. These documents will only be generated if you have a non-registered investment account. Unfortunately, you cannot deduct management fees in RRSPs, TFSAs, or any other registered account. If you do not see a foreign holdings document, it is because your foreign holdings were below the CRA threshold and you do not need to report anything. These are available to download from your Bellwether portal unless you have elected to receive all communications by mail. Okay, we're getting through this. Don't worry, I won't be mumbling away about tax slips all day long, just hang on a little longer. Next up, if your non-registered investment account holds individual stocks or preferred shares that generated dividends, you will be due to receive a T5 issued directly from our custodian Fidelity. Any interest income will be on this slip too. These will be released either in the mail or online depending on your election on February the 28th and will look like so. Also released on or around February 28th will be T3s issued by third parties, for example mutual fund companies. If you're a client of ours, then this is likely no longer applicable to you, but there may be the odd situation where we're still holding a legacy position for capital gains purposes, for example a council fund, so just keep an eye out on that. We expect T3s issued by third parties to be mailed out on February 28th. Next is the Bellwether T3s. If your non-registered account holds the Bellwether pooled funds, then you can expect to receive up to 6 slips in the mail for the Canadian Performance Fund, Canadian Stock Fund, US Stock Fund, the Global Real Estate and Infrastructure Pool, Bellwether Alternative Income, and lastly, the Bellwether Fixed Income. These slips will not be mailed out until mid-March, so do not expect to receive them until towards the end of March. The last slip that you will likely receive is a T3 issued by Fidelity for Trust Income. If your non-registered account holds Horizon's Preferred Share ETF and receive dividend income, then you will receive a T3 which will not be issued until March the 31st. If you hold other ETFs, for example iShares in your non-registered account, those will be included on the slip as well. For reference, the slip will look very similar to the one on that I pointed out just previously. Nearly there, I promise. I've covered most of the common tax slips up until now, but there are some others which, depending on your situation, may or may not apply to you. Number 1. If you withdrew from an RESP last year, you should expect a T4A to be issued on February 28th. Number 2. If you withdrew from an RRSP, which is not a RIF or a LIF, last year, then you should expect a T4A again to be issued on February 28th. Number 3. A T5008 summary of transactions will be mailed out on February 28th. This is intended as a summary, but for tax purposes, please refer to the capital gains and losses, as this will give you the information that you need in order to file your taxes. Number 4, T5 from National Bank. If you held Altamira high interest savings, you may get a T5 from National Bank if your interest income was over $50. Since some slips are not released until mid to late March, if you have a non-registered account, we would kindly ask that you not file your taxes completely until mid-April to ensure that you've received everything. That said though, if you are using an accountant, please don't wait till mid-April to give them everything so they're scrambling at the last minute. Give them what you can in advance and forward any missing pieces on at a later date when received. As always, if there's anything that you're missing or if you need any assistance, then just please call us at the office. I do hope that this video has been helpful though. Next year, you'll be an absolute pro at this. Any comments, feel free to drop in the section below, and don't forget to like the channel if you haven't already done so before you leave.